Hey everyone, my name's Tom Perrin. I brew beer. Made this is my 7th batch, 5-gallon batch of beer. First time I had to actually use a blow-off tube. Normally I just use the traditional little airlock here, but this sucker blew off this morning. Ended up blowing off because I had the door closed, and it was the door was holding that down in place. And then when I lifted the freezer door here, it was the air came out, and I pushed it back down, but I left the door open. And when I came back out a few minutes later, it had blew off. It was laying on the floor here. The car here, which has still got residue all over the side of it and the roof. It was a mess. I already cleaned off the front, but it actually blew all over this car here in my garage. Take a look at this fermentation going here, and you can see it. I mean, it's just pounding through. This is not even 24 hours in. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I actually got this, pitched the yeast yesterday at about 4 o'clock. So, I mean, not very far in. I mean, 15, 16 hours, somewhere around there. So I got this hose just kind of wrapped up above this little keg here, going down into this little pitcher that I got filled up with some sanitizer. But it's blowing not only the CO2 out, it's blowing a lot of the head out right through that hose, which I think is fine as long as nothing's going back up and everything's coming out. I'm good. I won't get contamination. But yeah, let this thing build up one more time here, and then listen to it push it through. It's pretty intense. But this is a just so you know, this is a mango IPA. It's a big beer. My original gravity reading, which I got in this fermenter here, was a 10.73. So, and I did use a yeast starter, and I used a dry yeast because it was going to be a big beer, and I had the dry yeast. I didn't have 2 packages, so I figured let's make a yeast starter. So I made that like 24 hours ahead of time, and I got some healthy yeast going for sure. I mean, that airlock was actually bubbling up in 4 hours when I pitched the yeast. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll post another video after this thing is all completely done and do a little taste review on it. Cheers.